Good morning, hello everyone, and welcome to This Day. It is a Tuesday, June 20th. I'm Michael Taylor, and we've got a kind of special show for you today. Coming up today, we have the Comedy Club folks. We're going to talk to them, have a few laughs, but also introduce my new co-host for This Day, Bobby Higgins. We're going to learn all about her. She's going to ask me some questions. I'm going to ask her some questions. We'll get it figured out. Want to stay informed here. We have one that's kind of important, really important one here, right? We have a lost cat. So if anyone's seen Sweetie Pie, that would be wonderful if we can help find and locate this cat, bring her back. She's gray and white, medium-sized female, short hair, very friendly, but it's going to be scared and skittish. There's the phone number on the screen if you've seen the cat, if you have any idea about where this cat might be, if you've seen it around, make sure you contact them, get this cat back. That would be wonderful. Hey, let's take a look at the weather. It is pretty nice out there. It's sunny already. The clouds broke through, and we're going to have this kind of thing where the clouds will be hanging around. They'll be out earlier, depending on the high pressure out in the desert and all sorts of other factors. But we got a great sunny day for us today. High's going to be 72. Don't be surprised if it sneaks up just a little warmer than that. The rest of the week, we got mostly sunny. We're going to return to those AM clouds by the end of the week. Let me show you there. And by Saturday, it'll be partly cloudy, morning clouds again. So we're going to have this pattern sticking with us for a while. How about the sunrise and the sunset? This is an old picture of back in my day, probably a little earlier than that, when we used to have orange groves all over Orange County. This is over by El Toro Marine Base. This is a great little shot I found the other day. Sunrise, 5:41. Sunset, 8:07. Okay, folks, when we come back, we're going to be talking to the folks from the Comedy Club. But first, let's take a look at the meetings we have for the rest of the day.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all three of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
The Comedy Club is a fun staple here in Laguna Woods Village, and I'm joined by Joey Sims and Gloria DeSimone, who are coming here to talk about some upcoming shows, some big changes actually at the club, and what's been going on lately. So, Joey, tell us a little bit about the club in general for people who might not know.
Well, it's a wonderful club with a wonderful audience. I get a real deal on these headliners because I've known them and they love the audience. And it's just the most unique people. They just crack up and give standing ovations. She's gonna love it. And this is our new comedian.
Yeah, well, now you're leaving us, right? You're stepping away. Is that that's
I'm
one
trying
of
to
kind of
retire a little
here.
bit before I die. You know.
It's always a good plan.
I've been here 17 years doing the club. I've been here 23 years. Mm-hmm. I tell people I came when I was 39.
Sure, that works.
Yeah, that works. And it's just a lot of fun, but they stand in line about 5, they get there about 5:30 or 5:40, and they stand in line, and they bring their food. And then we have a big GRF bar, which is, I understand, the best bar in Laguna Woods.
There we go.
That's a funny coincidence. And
you want to get people drinking, get
right.
people relaxed, and before the show comes out.
Yeah, and an hour later, they're ready. You know, and
that's a shot at one of the events you had recently,
yes,
correct? Yeah.
And one of my favorite comedians, Tony Calabrese.
Okay.
And he's Italian. We're Italian, so we all like him. And then they pay $10, and then we have coffee and cake gratis, and they just have a wonderful time.
Well, Gloria, sounds like you're inheriting a fun tradition here. Are you
know.
excited?
Oh, my goodness. When she said to do it, I thought, well, I don't know. And then I thought, this one has energy. This is the Energizer Bunny. And if you ever wanted it back, no problem.
Well, you've got a bio that makes me look like a kindergartner.
Go on.
Tell us a little bit about what have you done in comedy? What do you hope to do with the club?
Well, I mean, I want to I'm not going to sing. She wanted me to sing. I said, I'll just empty the place out if I do that, you know. No, we'll just do stand-up comedy, and the audience is good. She said it is, and it's really important to have a good audience that laughs. Nothing's worse than going up there and all talking at the bar or something, and you can't get their attention.
Well, they don't move. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And we have to have a PG-13 for these older people. But
Sure.
that's okay.
That's
if you're
okay.
really funny, you don't need to be dirty.
Well, Gloria, I want to hear a little bit about your background. Where did you get your start?
I started kind of late, really. I was 28 years old. That was 10 years ago. No. And I was in Philadelphia, because
Okay.
that's where I was born and raised, in Philadelphia, in the Italian neighborhood, and that was a lot of material right there. And then the first job I had, somebody said, oh, because they support you. You know, they're good, loyal people back there. And I worked in a bar that was a strip joint. Now, when I went in, I saw it was a strip joint. I thought, oh, well, okay. So I get up and I start my little routine. Now, you don't do comedy in a strip joint because the guys are hardly listening and they're yelling, take it off. No, you don't get it. I'm here to do comedy, you know. And then from there on, I still got more jobs there on the East Coast, and the more you do, the more people you meet, because you got to rub elbows and meet people. There's a formula to getting work, you know. And then you work in New York, and then you start going to different states, and you go over. And I went to the Comedy Store, the Improv, Catch a Rising Star, just so many places, and you meet so many people. And then when I worked in Vegas, you really meet a lot of people.
Right.
That was fun. Yeah, that was.
She
cool.
did all the biggies in Vegas, you know.
Well, that's fantastic. So
The
it sounds
Harrah
like
Hotel, MGM.
yeah, it sounds like you're being left in good hands here.
Yeah, see?
So what the next big show we have coming up?
Well,
Tell me.
she's supposed to tell you that I had a 4-minute standing ovation,
Yeah,
which
well,
really
wait,
tore
you
me
gotta
up
give
at
me
the
a chance
end.
to talk.
That was for the big goodbye at the,
The big goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, they love her.
I'm going to miss
Yeah,
them.
they love her.
Yeah.
They're going to miss her.
But you're not going to be absent, right? You'll still be coming
No,
around.
they can hire me.
They can.
That's right. That's right.
Gun
They
for
can hire
hire.
you.
See,
Right.
smart. The comedians
Right.
comedians are no fools.
That's right. That's right.
So you guys have another shows, not just the shows you do live, but you also have some television shows here on
Yes.
Village Television. Tell us a little bit about those.
Every Sunday at 12:30, we're on TV here for a half hour. And then most of the comedians won't let us do YouTube with them. They think somebody's going to steal their jokes, you know. But
So what's the
anyway,
format of that? How does that work? You invite
well,
folks on to kind
Cole
of stand
sends
up?
it. Your Cole that works here sends
Sure.
it to YouTube for us.
Sure.
Which
But
is
I mean,
great.
when people watch a show, what are they going to see? Your TV show.
They're going to see, it's just laughter. I do tons of one-liners is what I do. And she just got really funny stuff that other than one-liners. So,
Okay.
and I always come out singing and rocking and rolling, but she doesn't want to do that. But maybe I can get her to have me up there and we could do it together, because I like her voice.
No, I mean, I did sing at one time, especially in Vegas. However, they have a band, a big band behind you, and that covers up a lot of stuff.
And she wants
can hide
And it was all comedy, you know, it was all comedy.
She wants composers and arrangements.
Yeah, well, I did have arrangements.
She doesn't
That's what makes it
realize
look-
she's arrived, but this is Laguna Woods.
I know.
So, Joey, what have been some of your favorite parts over the last 17 years? What do you really kind of kept you coming back over and over again?
The people. I just love the people, and of course, when you're an entertainer, you feel loved on stage, and that's so nice. Especially if you don't have a boyfriend, and that's the difficult part in Laguna Woods. You know, we're 10 women to every 2 men, so that's the tough part.
Well, even though you're stepping away from that, a lot of people have a real tough transition, walking away from something they love doing. And
I know.
I get what you're saying. How do you feel like? How have you thought about that transition?
Well,
as
I'm
it
very
comes?
busy. I belong to, there's 250 clubs here, and I belong to most of them. And I'm just a very busy person. I just might have more time for myself, like getting massages and doing the things I want to do. And Gloria's a tough Italian. She'll make the board mind and help her out probably better than I did. So, but I have a wonderful board, and I have a nice publicity man. Yeah, you'll meet him, I think. So it's gonna be tough. I know that, but there's such a wonderful place to live, Laguna Woods, and I keep busy.
Right.
Yeah, you do. You keep busy. Like I said, she's the Energizer Bunny. And like I said, if she ever wants it back, I don't mind. That's fine. You know what I mean? And so don't worry about that.
Well, if I ever want it back, we could do it together.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
you guys have the big show coming up on June 22nd. Tell us a little bit more about that.
He's really great.
Who's our headliner?
Dick Harwick. You got the flyer?
Oh, we got it up on the screen. I want you to tell me about him.
He's been coming here for years. He reminds you of an old guy, a Dixie band, you know? And he's a comedian, and he plays instruments. Okay. He's a lot of fun, and the audience loves him. I'm very careful to match the comedian to the audience, because I've seen big shots come over here, like imitating Tom Jones. They look out at that sea of gray hair, and they can't even sing, you know? So I want them both to be aware of each other before they come. So anyway, everybody loves Dick, and then we have a famous one coming in a month or two called Vicki Barbalek, and she won America's Got Talent.
Okay.
Other ones have won Star Search.
Okay.
So they're all great. I just did like 10 minutes in the front. And then I introduced and I got a nice announcer named Martin. You'll have to come.
I'll do my best.
We'll save your seat. We'll save your seat, and I'll get you in free.
Well, I don't want speaking of charge, you guys do charge, but
yes.
It's to a good cause. You have some great causes you support.
I'm glad you thought of that. That's the most important thing. We've given $32,000 to Meals on Wheels, which is the best club here going, because a lot of older people use Meals on Wheels. And Florence Sylvester is a wonderful senior center, and they get it all too. So that's great that we've done that.
Yeah, and it's such an important way to understand, like, hey, this is going towards something. Going to have that good cause, and you know, it probably feels better when you're up there on stage, knowing that you're supporting something.
Yeah, and I like supporting that, and also when you make people laugh, it's healing. That's like one of the things I've always liked about comedy, because when they leave, and if they didn't feel good or miserable when they came, they go home happy. Right. You know, and that's important.
There's that group experience that happens that you can't get by reading something, or maybe even watching a comedian on television. That you don't have that audience. Does that really feed you sometimes when you know it's going well?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Then you really run with it. Yeah, not with that ball. Yeah.
Okay. And because they're so warm, we get up on the stage warm.
Right.
And then our performance is hotter, and then we leave feeling good. It's really good. I wouldn't have done it for free all this time if I hadn't enjoyed it, you know.
Well, Joey, we thank you for all the years you've done that. Gloria, we wish you the best in this.
Thank you.
June 22nd is the big show coming up, folks. Make sure you get out to that. LagunaWoodsVillage.com if you want more information. We have the info up on the screen for you. Joey and Gloria, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, and welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. You are watching This Day on Village Television. We'll be right back.
Life goes by quickly. Enjoy it while you can. At Southern California Family Dentistry, we help you live your best life. Dr. Jahangiri has been serving the community for over 15 years. His #1 priority is your comfort and care. We offer complimentary dental implant consultation. Our implants start at only $9.99. Check out our new patient special. We offer exams and x-rays for $49. We also perform implant-supported dentures and sleep dentistry, all under one roof. Transform your smile. Don't wait. Give us a call today.
Do not adjust your sets. There are two of us out here. Yes, indeed. This is my new co-host, Bobby Higgins.
Hello.
Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you.
It takes two people to replace Lisa Hart. I've been saying that for a while.
Big shoes to fill, definitely. She's done it quite a while and was very comfortable with it. So she did a good job.
Bobby and I will be on sometimes together, but a lot of times we'll just be doing the individual hosting thing. But Bobby, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got your start and all that fun stuff.
I've been, it's funny, back when I was in high school, we had a student-produced news show, and that was kind of my first taste of this field, and so I thought I wanted to go and be a news broadcaster, and so my very first internship, I was at USC, and my very first internship, I found out that I didn't like the news as much. And back then, they didn't have entertainment news. They didn't have other options to do, and the news just seemed a little depressing for me.
I teach at Santa Ana College, and I teach a news class. And that's one of the things I tell my students, that this is a great place to find out you love this or you don't, right? Instead of kind of going and trying to find that first job and then quitting it. So it's kind of it's kind of like, that's that whole, like, your 20s is this whole place to try things out and do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So where'd you go from there?
So from there, interesting enough, the person who I was interning under, he was the sports anchor for the 11 p.m. news, and we ended up started dating. He ended up becoming my husband, and so he had also started his own TV production company. So now it's a family thing, and so I just kind of always worked with him, and some people may remember us from locally on Channel 3 on Cox Cable. For a year, I think I was on there for maybe 8 years. He was on there for 25 plus years.
Right. Yeah.
And covering local sports.
This is Paul Higgins. For those of you who don't know, Paul Higgins. He was a very familiar face on a lot of local television, covering what has become a hard thing to do, covering local sports on television, doing it well, which is it was really fun to watch the local students and all the local kids doing stuff.
It's exciting to see how many athletes from our area went on and then ended up becoming professional athletes and their careers and stuff like that. It's been pretty amazing to just see the pool of talent we have right here in Orange County.
Now, Bobby and I actually know each other kind of a little bit, because when I was over at Real Orange at PBS, and I brought in Paul. Paul said, hey, would you like to have some local sports every once in a while? We said, that would be great. It'd be fantastic. And so I met Paul, and I met you once or twice. You came in once or twice over the course of the years that Paul was with us, doing kind of our sports segments on our program, Real Orange. So it's kind of very strange that all of a sudden here we are again.
Yes, back then my babies were very young, so I wasn't doing a whole lot of work at that time. I have 5 kids, ages now from 22 to 11. So.
And you have time to be here?
I know. Everyone says, my youngest is going into 6th grade when the fall starts, and so everyone says, yeah, once the kids hit middle school, things get a lot easier. And definitely they're at the age where, I'm like, hey, come on, let's go play football, let's go for a bike ride, let's go. And they're like, no, Mom, you're not fun.
When we become embarrassing and not fun, that's the time it's like, okay, I need to start doing some other things and figure out some things I want to do, because my kids don't want to do things with me anymore.
Exactly.
my best part was when both of them got driver's licenses. I have 2, and it was just, the freedom that brings, and you'll discover that in a couple more years.
Yes, except for it's harder to get a car for all 5 kids.
So tell us a little bit more about, like, your television experience and what you've kind of done and how people have seen you around here. Yeah,
basically, I used to do the sideline reporting for the local football games, and then our career took off in the mid '90s when ESPN started with they created ESPN2. And so we had programming on that station and traveled all over the country, which was great. And then it started moving into Mexico and Canada. Some of the shows we did was like the Vans Triple Crown of skateboarding, a lot of the extreme sports, and those got to know a lot of those athletes, which then when ESPN created originally it was called the Extreme Games, now is called the X Games.
Right.
And so we were right there in the front lines with producing packages for ESPN and interviewing those athletes and meeting their wives and their very first children, and as we traveled with them around for the competitions and stuff.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see you guys and those kind of programs develop, because they were like, when ESPN first started, they had all this crazy stuff, and they got so big and they got so much licensing, they started doing real NFL football. So then ESPN2 comes along, and they kind of go back to their roots of, like, let's find these outskirt sports. And now they're so mainstream, the skateboarding and the motocross and all those kind of things that you guys brought to the light are now, like, some of them are Olympic sports now.
Yes, it's crazy. We just recently, Tony Hawk professional skateboarder who, you know, hit it big with at the right time with all this, and just so talented. I think he was on a Burger King or some crazy commercial. We're like, oh my gosh, Tony Hawk is still a face out there. All the kids know who he is. And
Right, all of a sudden he's mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. And then one of our more recent shows that we've done is called Slippery Stairs. And you were saying you caught it at the fairgrounds.
It was a couple years ago, and I can't remember what it was. It was during the holidays. I feel like that's when it aired, but maybe you remember it better. But it was one of those days when I turn on television, there's Paul Higgins hosting Slippery Stairs.
Yeah, and I did some sideline reporting on that, co-hosting with him as well, and just a crazy show that these athletes. We built the stairs, and there's like slime all over it, and they're in these spandex suits.
People, it's like one of those bounce house slides.
Yeah.
But there were obstacles on the way up, and it was like all oiled up and slippery as heck, and the goal was to beat the other team to the top, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of it?
Yeah. To the athlete, to who could get to the top first and ring the bell. And then the thing was then they had to come back down. So there was a lot of fun with watching it, and that just trended like crazy, and we're like, you know, the whole social media thing, that was a new experience and quite crazy.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden you're getting like, I have likes, what's a like, you know?
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. So tell me all your background and everything that led you to here today.
Sure. Well, I like you, I kind of discovered news in college. And it was at the college radio station at Saddleback College, right down the road from here. And I really enjoyed it. I thought I wanted to be a DJ at first.
Really?
And they had a radio station there, so I thought, I'm going to be a DJ. That'll be really cool. I'll play records all day and I'll talk, and that'll be that. And then I discovered that, boy, you don't really get to talk that much. And we were playing jazz there, and I didn't really like jazz. And I started getting in my head, well, what if I'm at a station that I don't like the music, and I don't really get to talk that much? And it just wasn't really exciting. I was like, the idea of something is way more sometimes than the actual doing of that thing.
Yeah.
And so then they had a newsroom too, and I thought, oh, this is kind of fun. I can create stories, I can write, I can read those stories on the air, and that's when I started really following that. So I ended up working for the Orange County Register as a local reporter for Laguna News, for the old insert paper they used to put in the Orange County Register.
Yep.
I worked at radio stations, but then when I got to Cal State Fullerton, I kind of crossed over to television. And so that's when I said, okay, this is for me. This is working. It had the visual and the sound, and I could go out there and produce, and we could cut the stories together, and I really enjoyed that. And so then I ended up at OCN. Some people might remember the Orange County News Channel.
Oh, I remember OCN, absolutely. And they did high school football too.
They did too. They did a great job too. They were Paul's competition.
Yes.
But I was an intern there for about a year, and then that's how I landed my first job. I was putting stories together at OCN, and I put that on my demo reel, and I started sending it out around the country, and Abilene, Texas gave me a call. And they said, I don't think you're ready to be a reporter, but would you like to be a producer? Because they liked my writing, they liked my storytelling. I said, sure, I'd take anything to get in the door, right? And when you're this kid right out of college. And so I took that, and I went there, and I eventually became the weekend anchor, weekday reporter, and did that. And then I came back, and I already mentioned Real Orange. I got a job offer for Real Orange to be a producer, news director there with Ed Arnold and Ann Police, for those who remember Real Orange here, watching that. And I was there for 17 years.
Wow.
And then, right now I'm at Santa Ana College, and I teach all this stuff now.
So now how did it transition? How did you transition to teaching, and how do you like that in comparison to doing this?
I like it a lot, actually. It's kind of fun. I feel like I have all this knowledge of I became like an expert by accident. You know, you're like, here's all the mistakes I made. And I think that's one of the important things I tell my students is you don't learn from your successes. You learn from all the mistakes you made and how I will never do it that way again. I know I think Edison said, I know 10,000 ways it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Making the light bulb, right? And so it's one of those things where it's like I have this shared knowledge, and I can do that with the students. And I've been there 8 years now, and I really enjoy it. And then I got a call from a friend of mine over at PBS and said, hey, they're looking for a host over there if you want to do something part-time. And I said, I might give that a try again. So here I am.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad to see you again and that our paths have crossed.
I know,
once
right?
Again.
Here we are together again for everybody here at Village Television to watch on this day. Well, we're going to come back, and Bob, you'll still be here, but we're going to do our announcements, to have a recap of the weather, so stay with us.
Do you want the government to take control of your assets and your legacy, or do you want to take control? Ellis Carlson Law is well positioned because we have a team of estate planning attorneys. You call us, we sit down with you, and we will define what is the customized estate plan that properly protects your legacy.
I'd like to personally thank L.S. Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
Hi, I'm Dan McEachran. 35 years ago, I was lucky enough to get my start in Laguna Woods. First, building patio rooms, then kitchens. Our cabinets are all built locally in Irvine. It all began with patio rooms, like this Majorca model, which we made into a complete room. I'll pull permits. We'll take care of everything. Give me a call. We'll do a nice job for you.
As promised, we're back. She didn't run away. I didn't scare her off just yet. We're going to do some announcements first, and Bobby's got the first one.
Yes, coming up, it's the longest day on Wednesday, June 21st, the first day of summer and the longest day of the year. I think it's called the solstice as well,
Yes.
right? So the Bridge Club, they're having a fundraiser for Alzheimer's Association, and there's the information there.
Website, check it out. They're going to be over in the clubhouse, and they're going to do a great fundraiser. I'll take the next one, and then we'll check in on weather. The Astronomy Club. They got their Wednesday tomorrow event coming up at Clubhouse 1. It's a free event, no guest fee, no nothing. Bring your friends, bring everybody, and you come learn about the latest discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope. That is an amazing thing. I saw some of the images the other day from that, and that's really fun. So if you guys have a chance to go out there, make sure to do that. If we're going to still stay looking up at the sky, I guess we might as well do some weather. So let's take a look at our forecast. It's sunny. Look at that. Finally, I've been promising you guys sun for a long time, and there it is. Look at those temperatures. I'm guessing we're going to get past 72. I'm guessing we're going to get past 72 today. It's going to remain on the cool side, though, so long sleeve, long pants, shorts, whatever you want, that's going to be your dress of the day. And so it looks like a great week for us. And I want to thank everybody for watching this day right here. Remember, you can watch us at 9 a.m., 12:30, and 5 o'clock right here on Village Television. I'm Michael Taylor. This is Bobby Higgins. And as we leave you here, I want to make sure you guys make it a great day on this day. Thanks for watching.
Our generation has always believed a hard day's work is its own reward. So for some of us, it's hard to turn off that work switch come retirement. But imagine what can happen when that work switch becomes a life switch. Then you realize every day in retirement is its own reward. We can help you flip the switch to make work days become life days.
Are you struggling to hear in your noisy dining room? Do you have to pause and think about what people are saying so you can figure out the words? Do you find yourself lost in conversations? Can you hear but you don't understand the words people are saying? You need to get on the Ark. No, not Noah's Ark. This is Stewart's Ark hearing aids with artificial intelligence. You will never know how much better you can hear until you listen to the clear sound and noise right in our office. Call us today. Don't miss the boat and tell them Stewart sent you.